everyone, welcome back to day 39 of my 100-day health challenge. I am a little late checking in. It's still, today, and it's not quite midnight yet or anything, and I've got, a while before that, but it's still later than usual. I made the mistake of, I needed a nap, but I made the mistake of only really, I didn't set many alarms, and I had also, it was funny because I was so tired that I had to lay down. So then I asked, my mom is visiting, my mom and dad are visiting, and I was concerned I would oversleep my alarm. But what I did is I asked, I was like, well, since you're here, would you mind, in case you don't hear from me after a certain amount of time, would you come and just see if I'm, snoozing away or what I'm doing? And, well, she did. Well, I kept, saying, oh, it's all right, I'm just gonna sleep a little longer and sleep. Well, then I ended up sleeping way longer than I should have for my nap, and waking up. And so, I mean, it is what it is. I needed this. So I woke up this morning with the beginnings of a migraine, specifically a silent migraine, because my vision was doing weird things. And I couldn't even really see or focus. And so I couldn't even drive into rehearsal this morning. I had to just take a little something and let my head rest. And by the time I woke up again, it was all right. My vision was all right, but my head was still killing me. The weather changed. It snowed today. So, it really actually over here, it didn't really snow. It was kind of like a more slushy sleet. It wasn't sticking on the ground or anything. It was not that cold, but it was, there were some moments of actual snow too as it moved on. So, it's kind of technically the first snow of the year, even though it was not it didn't stick, and it was hard. And by the time we hit 11 or 12 in the day, it was sunny outside, and it was still cold, but it was sunny. So that's the crazy weather for you, right? But, and I'm a little stopped up right now too, not in a bad way, just because where I was sleeping and stuff, and then and then it's been cold, and the room was cold and everything. Well, anyways, so because of that, I had a splitting headache, and it was killing my head when I went into work. And it was all right. We had a good day, and it was fun. And I was able to go over to the coffee shop and say byes, and actually had some amazing conversations, which I'll talk about in a second. But then I had, some parent teacher conferences and all that. But it's been a bit of a whirlwind of a day. It's been a good day, but a whirlwind and kind of a back and forth on it's just been a crazy day. It was exciting, but kind of crazy. And so, I'm just tracking how things are going. I'm just, this has been my week to kind of try to record how things are going, what's happening, what am I doing, what's working, not working. And it's actually been a really good week so far. I mean, there's been definitely the discouragements, the fact that I found out the coffee shop, which is just so near to my heart, is closing. And, so at least for now, and that kind of thing, and just the reminders of what changes might be coming, and the bittersweet things about change, and the mourning and the happiness with it, and the sadness and joy, and both the good and the bad, and the excitement and the anxiety that comes sometimes with it, and just managing that. And so it's just been an interesting week. I have my check-in on Sunday. That'll be my week check-in. So that'll be fun, and I'll share more on that. It'll be my 6-week check-in, and not far from day 50, so that's exciting. But it's just been a little bit of a weird whirlwind day. So anyways, so let me see if I can pull this all into a little bit more coherent thoughts. So so this morning so just to give you kind of a quick check-in of how it went. I woke up early, was actually going to try to do a little exercise or movement, and then take a shower, and then get ready and go to work. I couldn't get up the first time, so I thought, I'll just sleep in a little bit, and then I'll still be okay to go in. Well, my head had been bothering me a little bit, but I didn't think much of it. Well, I woke up the second time where I had to get up if I wanted to be on time. My vision is doing the aura thing for silent migraines, and it was instead of, usually mine starts in the corners of my eye, and they kind of move inward. This was right towards the front. It was kind of blurry, not really blurry, but it was sort of just harder to see. So even when I was texting to let people know that I couldn't come into rehearsal or that kind of thing, it was hard to focus. I was kind of looking at the camera screen or my phone screen trying to text. And So that was fun, right? So I didn't really take something so much as I put some stuff on my temples and like on my neck, and then I just laid back down and I drank a little bit of water and went to sleep. Went back to sleep, slept as long as I could, and we have a half day schedule today because of parent teacher conferences. So I slept in as long as I could. Then I woke up and went into school, and I was able to. By that point, I was concerned that it wouldn't have gone away, and I was going to have to, ask for a sub or something. But it went away, and so I was able to drive in, and it was definitely the weather change, the pressure, and the. I don't know how many people I get. By the way, this is on a side note. I don't know how many people I ran into today who had migraines or were having sinus stuff and stopped up because of the quick, just rapid weather change. I mean, we were literally outside yesterday taking fall pictures with my nephew. It's his first time in the leaves in the fall, and so we were literally yesterday out there where it was chilly, but we were in the sun and we were taking pictures with the leaves and the all the first like fall pictures, which I'm so glad we did because that was why we did, because we knew the weather might change. And so literally the weather changed this morning and it was snowing, and we had some sleet and stuff, but mostly there was a little bit of the mixture of rain and snow, and then it didn't stick again. But so I drove in, and it's kind of fun in a way because I do like that weather. I don't like driving in that weather, but right now it's not any bad. It wasn't on the road or anything, but it's kind of a cozy like sweater weather day, but it was definitely not like good on the wanting to wake up and on the sinuses and the headache and all that. So but I got into work, and I got there and was able to set up my stuff for class a little bit, and then we had class, and it was again half day schedule, so it was real short, but we got some good stuff done, and it was a fun day. And then I ended up briefly, like, not subbing, but stepping in for one of the other classes while the teacher had a quick meeting thing. And then I went over to the coffee shop. I had blocked out some time to go over there. So I drove over to the coffee shop, and I actually did some work. But it was so funny because I ran into some people. Well, so where today is really the last official day that they were open, which is still hitting my heart a little bit, like, oh, I don't know. But I had been, praying and asking that it would be like a positive end to it, even though it was been bittersweet and it was sad, and I'm really sad it's closing. I've been asking for like some encounters with people and some like things to just remind me of how much of a joy it's been. And I've had that yesterday and today. So even though today it was like, it still hasn't fully hit me, because I know tomorrow I'm going to wake up and be like, I can't go over to the coffee shop anymore. They're closed. And so even though I know that's going to hit some, it was such a good day today. And I ran into a friend from high school who actually used to do some barista work over at the coffee shop. But I hadn't seen him since last year. So we were catching up, and that was fun to see him. And then, and his sister, I still work with his sister, but I've worked with her in the past too. She's been the first grade teacher, and then now she's kind of doing like elementary PE. So it was fun to like where I see her more often, and then I haven't seen him in a long time. And we were actually closer in age in high school. So it was fun to like actually see him and get to talk to him and catch up on how his family's doing, and their new, or their youngest son, and all that. So that was fun. And then I ran into a friend where I'm telling you, every time we meet, it's a divine appointment. It's literally not something we planned. But we met back in the summer. I mean, I see her at church and stuff and other places. But this was literally a moment where neither of us had planned to meet. But we both happened to be there. Well, I don't believe in coincidences. So we were both there, and we had met back in the summer and had some amazing, like, ideas planted and some seeds planted on like ministry outreach opportunities to just help in the area, like with different groups of women, and just some opportunities to, I don't know, to share story and share life and that kind of thing. But I guess just some ideas were planted back in the summer, but I hadn't started a lot of my determination to like make a lot of these changes yet. And so it was, and I mean, I had made so much like progress towards that, but then I'm actually doing my challenge now. I'm actually like, I'm trying to both like be doing this for myself, but also for others. And so this was an opportunity. We talked about some just maybe opportunities to like take what I'm doing and what she's doing. She does a lot of work with like animal therapy for just a variety of things and that sort of. It's like it's working a lot with the just the amazing gift that animals are with recovery and healing, and both like physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. Just how animals can be such a blessing and a gift to help us heal and help us, process things we're going through. And so it was just an interesting conversation about some of the things that we're both doing currently since we last talked in the summer, and just maybe some new ways that we could potentially help the community around where we live, and help specifically with some, mentoring young women who are struggling with things and health. And that as we're ourselves are going through the healing process and have already gone through it for several years, but are now like moving into new phases, just this remembering that like you don't have to be perfect to help guide and mentor someone if that's what they need and want, and getting over that kind of feeling that like, well, I'm just not qualified to do it. Well, maybe not in some ways, but you have a story, and if your story helps somebody else, then you are qualified. So I don't know, just some opportunities to think about, pray about, and just see. But it was just an amazing, encouraging conversation. So much like my conversation last Friday, where we were able to just encourage each other and just speak into each other's lives and say, wow, what you're doing is amazing right now. And like that kind of bashful return of like, oh, well, thank you. It's not why I'm doing it, but it's awesome to just hear that like you think I look good, and that you think I look healthy, and that I look, joyful, and that I look ready to help mentor others, and that maybe we can come alongside together. And even besides that, even if I'm not quite ready for that, I've got to think through some things and just pray about it. Think about what do I specifically, where do I want to help people, and how do I want to help people? Like where best would I be able to help mentor or reach out to people and change lives? And but then on the same side, even just she has a really fun group that meets together and does like just fun like life together and talking and worship and just fun like they're both reading books right now that are just really amazing. I can't wait to like I'll have to tell you more as I read or get the book and then read about it. But I've been invited to join their group in the past, and it hasn't worked out yet. But I am actually looking forward to maybe trying to join the group and just like building another place of community and fellowship to have people to just do life with, right? Like sometimes we need people along on the journey. We're not meant to be isolated. We're meant to have people with us take the journey. And so, so that was cool. And so anyways, I stayed at the coffee shop. I had way too much coffee. I was like, I don't usually, I'll be honest, I usually don't respond to coffee as much. Yes, there's a reaction to it and stuff, but I don't get like caffeine, or whatever. Used to, it's because I had so much coffee during the day, like 6 or 7 cups, that didn't phase me, which was not good. But this was more of a, I wanted to have all the coffee before I wasn't going to be there anymore. And, I wanted to hang out. And so I ended up, I got the, pumpkin cold brew with cold foam. And then I got, so I guess first I got a pumpkin spice latte again, because those were just so good. And then I got a second one. And then I got, I was going to get an espresso, but I ended up getting a, cold brew. Yeah, the pumpkin cold brew with cold foam. And the thing that was interesting was right as I got that, I had enough points to get another free drink. So as I was leaving, because I had to go back for a conference, so after we talked, and we were both like, oh, we gotta leave. But then we kept talking. We were like, oh, we gotta leave. And then we kept hopping and talking. And so finally I did, I went up there and got drinks to go. But then I had the free drink, so I ended up taking 2 with me. And I was going to give it, I asked some people if they wanted it. And one of my friends at the front desk, she already had a coffee. So it's like, oh, I just got it. It was that she had just gone to Dutch Bros. And so I was like, oh, okay, that's all right. And but I ended up drinking both of them. And then I had I had 2 conferences, and I waited till the last minute and then blocked out a couple hours at the tail end so I could come home early. And I had plans to do some other stuff, but then I got home and I was up for a little bit, and then it was, well, and actually, by the way, after conferences, I had eaten a burrito at the coffee shop early for like a kind of a brunch, but I hadn't eaten anything else, and so I had planned to, some parents provided this really like big buffet taco bar thing in the teacher's lounge, and so I had planned to eat down there, but where I was running late, I was on time, but I was later than I wanted, so when I got there, I immediately had to print out a couple things and then go to my first conference. Well, then I thought, okay, I'll go down now and eat a little bit. Well, then I ended up talking to some people about just different things. So then I ended up having to go straight to my other conference. And then after that, I was finally able to eat. So I ate kind of like a really late lunch, which probably didn't contribute, because like by the time I got home, I was kind of sleepy, tired, exhausted. You know, I was feeling good, but where my head was still, had been bothering me most of the day, and it had kind of faded into the background, but it was still a little bothering me. I ended up having to lay down when, of course, obviously I napped too long, and so I got to eat a little something now, later than I planned, and hopefully between the nap and that, it won't affect my sleep, but it could be that I don't sleep as well tonight. We'll see. Hopefully I will, but anyways, so it's been an interesting up and down day, just tracking kind of how things were going, not being too hard on myself about things. And today was just really, there were a lot of really valuable things and just amazing conversations and just these divine appointments that I just feel like God really does lead people to each other to have conversations and do these different things. And so it's just a really cool, different day of celebration, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss you all. Like, I know I'm going to see you in ways and we will find ways to get back together, but just like this space that has been so precious and so meaningful. It's, it's that bittersweet, like it's saying bye, but at the same time, like, hopefully not bye forever. Hopefully this is a move into like the freedom to do even better and greater things, and like even more ways to change the community and people's lives. And then like, just even with that, just feeling like those conversations and then even my conferences were just so much fun and amazing. And like, they were uplifting to me and encouraging, and it was fun to meet some parents that a couple of the parents I just don't know very well, so it was their son's newer this year, so it was fun to just meet them and or meet them again and get to know them a little bit more, and just to have that fun conversation with them. It turned out to be a really fun conference. And then the other one just went really well, talking about just how well things are going, and yeah, so I think tomorrow's conference will go well too. I only have 3 right now because a lot of sophomore parents don't come in for conferences. I wish they would a lot of times, because some of them I don't meet. Like, I meet them in the beginning of the year, but then they don't always get there for the beginning of the year stuff. So sometimes I don't really know the parents as well, or unless I haven't met them in person. I've talked to them online more or something, or I've, briefly seen them, but it's nice to get to know them. So, but anyways, it was fun, and I'm looking forward to like what tomorrow brings. And I mean, today again was a little bit of a different day than I'd planned, but in a good way at the same time. So like, even though there was the stupidness of a migraine and the sadness of the shop closing, there was also this just good day, like the way things went, lots of just fun, divine appointments, and lots of interesting conversations and encouragement, and catching up with people, and then have good conferences, and then so it's just been a whirlwind of a day, and just wanted to check in. And I think that's the thing about like life, is it's just, I don't know, like I don't even know, like this check-in's ended up being long, and I hope something in this has like actually touched your heart and made you resonate with that. Something in this is like what you're going through, or the ups and downs, but there's just so much possibility and adventure in life, and I think that's the cool thing about it. And so even though some things close and a chapter ends, there's so many more chapters to go, and it's exciting. There's adventure, and there's going to be the ups and downs, but there's so much good within that. And so anyways, I think that's where I'm going to leave it today. I'll check in more tomorrow, and then obviously have my week check-in, and then I'm not far from day 50. So, all right, you guys have an awesome day. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.